So I've used LinkedIn in my first year going solo running a design and marketing agency. And in my first year, I made about 50K top line revenue. But not only that, and as more important, as you'll see in this video, are the relationships that I've made. So this is going to be just kind of a dense case study. A lot of you have met me through this platform. So it's just going to be basically a little bit of storytelling, but also give you the goods in terms of my content strategy and what all B2B freelancers should be posting, especially if they're just getting started, to give them a framework of the platform, what you should do that actually gets engagements, and how to convert those engagements into actual conversations and paid transactions for your business. So, if any of those things interest you, this is going to be 6 steps, like I said, with a little bit of storytelling. So, let's dive in. So I call it kind of the B2B freelancer framework. And I'm going to say at the start of this, if you guys have ever heard of Matthew Brown of Tribe Digital, he will certainly be tagged in this post. His content is incredible. And a lot of this is referenced from him. And I'm just taking that broad knowledge base, applying it to A, video format, and B, freelancers. If you're solo, if you don't have a team, if you're very put in the sweat equity to market yourself and you're trying to build a business, this applies mostly to B2B freelancers. So if that is the primarily who you work with from a client perspective, this will be particularly relevant to you. But definitely check out Matt Brown. He'll be linked in this post. So diving into it, it's going to be the 6 steps are the results I've achieved with stats just to get some buy-in, why it worked and why it will for you too, the social selling framework and how I got my last 5 clients with a link to the post that kind of goes into more detail, what most businesses do social media wrong, why most freelancers do social media wrong, and that'll be where I get on a soapbox for a little bit. The most effective post types that I have found that have worked for me, with examples and links to those, so you can literally jump straight to those and see the posts that I've made that have gotten me conversations started that have led to paying clients. And number 6 is going to be my closing thoughts and what it will take. So a little bit of setting expectations and making sure that you guys show up for yourselves as freelancers and being transparent in terms of what marketing yourself, growing a business actually takes in year 1. So, step 1, the results I've achieved. I went from 80 followers to 3K in 10 months. And I made this little bleed magnet. Like I said, this is going to be pretty dense, but we're going to go through quite quickly to give you the high level overview. And it is quite messy. This was a presentation. This is prepared for a presentation I gave in front of my networking group, and it went great. So I kind of wanted to record a little of a Loom style video showing you guys the deets and giving you a back end because, like I said, there's a little bit of storytelling involved, but there's a lot of helpful, useful information that you can use to grow your LinkedIn presence and convert that to actual business. So the key stats: 80 to 3K followers in 10 months, 224 posts, 43 proposals sent, 22 active clients. I have 63 total in my CRM. I started a podcast to use as a co-joining networking tool for all the outreach I was doing. That podcast, 56 episodes weekly on Tuesdays at 8 a.m. Check out Marketing by Design. 1K plus downloads, 2 sponsorship opportunities, 48 genuine conversations that have happened, and meetings booked, which extrapolates to about more than one a week. So like I said, this is over a 10-month span. About halfway through that, I started a YouTube channel just to repurpose my content. I started and hit 100 subscribers, and I reached 50K of revenue in my first top line and my first month of business. And I added appended a little note. I don't charge enough, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I've got a lot to learn, and I'm excited to. But really, the gist of this video is and this is the true value in it right here. Like all the relationships, incredible people that I've met, just building this business and sharing the journey on LinkedIn. I honestly believe to you guys that is the power of this platform, and then why you should leverage it. Um, and this is the throughput, right? This is the spit and sawdust of what comes out on the other side. So if you're trying to grow your network, if you're trying to build a business, I've gotten job opportunities that have come up as well. If you're not someone who's trying to build your own thing, there's a lot of subsidiary benefits. And if relationships and job opportunities are something that interests you as well, those are subsidiary benefits. So step 2 is going to be why it worked and why it will for you too. So as you can see, I've created a lot of viral content, and you can say, well, Andy, that's great. You're creating viral content. You're probably appealing to a mass audience of people who aren't going to buy your stuff. And in the beginning, that was very much correct. I was good at making content. I just wanted to get myself out there because I had a need. I had a business need. I was trying to make it as a freelancer. And so I leveraged, creating catchy videos, getting on camera, sharing my work, sharing my journey. And that led to a lot of posts that did well. And obviously, some of them didn't do well. But as you can see, like some of them got over them. I just had one cross 1 million impressions, 650K, 35K, 65K, 830K, all on videos that I shot and edited by myself. So there was a 90 days where I had over almost 3 million impressions, people engaging on my posts in 3 months. That was a span that I hit. And you can see I was very consistent, posting videos every single day. But as you can see, it didn't start out that way. So when I first started almost a year ago, it was 4 likes, and I was getting like 30 to 40 impressions. 4 likes, 1 like, 6 likes. So I used to get 1 to 10 engagements on every post, and obviously 0 clients from those 10 engagements. And I'm about to show you why that maybe some of you are stuck there and why you can't kind of hit that little breaking point that's going to lead to your first big client, big year. So step 3 is the high level overview. I call it the social to website call booking framework. And MMG personally, we design and develop custom websites. We are a design first agency, but we lead with ROI driven design in mind. So the biggest thing that we do on websites is assessing where are people reaching you from, or how are we optimizing that to get to the next step. That's with anything in marketing. You're really playing one chess piece ahead and trying to get them through that funnel. So if you're starting on LinkedIn and you want to get more calls booked, you have to make sure that your website is optimized as well, or you're using some kind of inbuilt tool like Calendly or as call booking functionality to where you're capturing these leads. So the high level framework, step 1, create content, high value posts, attract your ideal audience. Step 2 is to drive traffic to that booking link or website to book calls and meetings. Step 3 is to capture leads by using forms, lead magnets, content, or personal messages to collect info. Also do this at events. And number 4 is to book meetings. So that's the thing you're really optimizing for. You're not selling your product or service. You are selling meetings, and I encourage you all to get that through in your head as fast as you can. So a little bit of a chart here to kind of capture this graphic. The LinkedIn social selling funnel, you create mass appeal, high value content to a wide range of people. Then the ones that filtered through to those are driving traffic, less people, then you capture leads, and then probably, especially in B2B, if you're a freelancer, you only need 1 to 2 per 1,000 people that follow you to end up becoming clients to eventually, make your year. So that's kind of the whole system with this, is that you're casting a big net and filtering through for the right people that can pay you what you're worth and make your first year worth it. So I drew out this kind of little diagram of like how the funnel works, and Lord, just forgive me for how messy this may look. But the TLDR is people start here, and then this is the funnel of like how it gets into my bank account. So humor me for a little bit, but people start with your content or in Sales Navigator, and we'll explain all how this works. But they come across your content and they land across your page or your LinkedIn profile. And I would encourage you, obviously, this is not a video about content strategy or profile optimization, but make sure you have those boxes checked as well. I have a ton of content on that, so check out my LinkedIn page. But then that funnels them either to your website or to a call booking link. Then you meet them in person or you book a call with them. They appear on your calendar, which would then lead to a proposal, which then leads to, transactions and money. So that's the very high, simple level of it. A couple of very simple things. And like I said, definitely check out Matthew Brown's content for more LinkedIn X B2B content strategy. Basically my teacher here. I'm just distilling the content and making it relevant for freelancers on a smaller scale. So this is really key. You have got to curate your audience. You have got to be making content for the people that are in your audience. And LinkedIn is a superpower because it allows you to choose and create what that audience is. So I would encourage you guys, the big part of this is not just content, it's the other side of it. It's creating that audience. So you're getting very diligent on sending your connection requests, so that your audience demographics looks like Andy's here. So we have, as you can see, mine is a quick screen grab. 6.7% founders, 3.1% owners, 2.9% graphic designers, 2% founders, 1.5% CEOs. Those are the people that are seeing my content. Those are the people that I can work with or either hire me to implement design and marketing strategy into their company. And then they hear my voice from their content. So that's really the big thing, is to make sure that you're making content for the people that can buy your product or service. And every piece of content you make should have that in mind. And this is also a expectation management. So I said even manage your expectations, LOL. Um, you've got to, if you have 1,000 ideal followers, you have a 1% conversion, you end up getting 10 sales from that. It's not like every connect request you're going to send is going to lead to business. You have to realize that this is creating a very broad content funnel where it's a lot of people at the beginning and then it tails down to more in the end. And I really love this piece by Matt. He said, the 3 C's framework: content, connections, and communications. You have to make sure you're holding up your end of the bargain on all 3 of these. So you're making content that brings people and converts them, you're connecting with them, and you're sending new ones so that that content gets in front of that audience of connections. And then you're also communicating with them. So you're in their inboxes, you're starting conversations. These are the 3 things that you have to do, and you have to do all of them for this to work. So moving on, how I got my last 5 clients. I make a case study post like this every month. It's linked here below if you would like to see it. So I just literally screenshots. And by the way, if people see people on LinkedIn or X posting screenshots of their revenue dashboards, um, if they're not screenshots, they're not real. So don't trust them unless they're screenshots, which is why I always use those. So you can see the conversations that led to my last 5 clients and why this strategy works. So if you guys want to check that out, link to it right there. So the next thing, we're going to breeze through this pretty quickly, is step 4, what most people are doing wrong. So the common social media mistakes we see, I kind of summed it up into 5 simple ones. And you guys are going to resonate with this right away. And I didn't include links to these because you guys will recognize this right away. So number 1 is they're not even using it entirely. If businesses just don't value getting online, they don't have any content online on camera, maybe they don't have a designer, they don't have a video, they don't have anything. If that's the issue, then that's the issue. So the issue to fix that is to just start by doing something, whether it's getting online or it's just writing. You writing consistent, one platform, one persona is what I recommend starting. Shout out to Alex Formosi. Just get online somehow. And there you go. You just check that box. Number 2 is to start prioritizing your business brand. Most people connect with personal brands and not faceless companies. This is why you should do all your content and strategy through a personal profile and not a company profile. Always use a personal profile to make the strategy work, whether when you start to loop in tools like Sales Navigator to make this process easier, make sure you're doing it from a personal profile. But the fix is to just humanize your personal brand. And you guys are going to have these frameworks that I put together here in the next slide, actually. So the links to all the most highest performing post types that I have done since I've been on the platform, with links to go and view them. And if you guys want that, just shoot me a message and you can download it. So you can just check them out one at a time. But we're going to go over them here in a little bit. But do you want to really humanize your business? Because people don't connect with the logo. I know that sounds super marketer and basic, but it's just true. So make sure you're being personal. Number 3 is to solve the reader's problems, which a lot of you probably aren't doing. So maturing as a marketer, maturing as a freelancer is realizing that the content that you make is not for you. It's for other people. So create with the North Star of solving specific problems. Every time you're talking to clients, every time you're researching or learning something new about the software you use, the interactions you have on a daily basis, jot a note and record those, and then dive straight into perfecting your craft on those things and improving every single day. Number 4 number 5, or number 4, yeah. Number 4 is not making social media social. So like I said, they do the content, they do the connections piece, but then it's just people in their audience, and then they're not moving people down the pipeline. You're not taking the next step. And this is a big part of humanizing your content, is that when people start to see through their inboxes that they're an actual person that they're having conversations with, and then they see you again in their feed. If you're appearing in someone's inbox and your feed, that's someone who's going to be a client. So make sure that you're not just in their feeds. Make sure that you're in your inboxes as well. Join conversations and post relevant content that creates that audience. Number 5, and the last big problem that most freelancers do, is that they don't play the long game. You're consistent for a week, and you just can't stick with it any longer. I know, like, that temptation is real in the beginning, but just commit to the action of doing things. Reset the metric of success to not just getting out there, and to not reset the metric of success to not having a million impressions or a huge viral post. Reset the metric of success to being just publishing posts in the first place. So don't chase quick fixes or give up on it too soon. Make sure you're checking all of these boxes and avoiding those mistakes. So step 5, the glory details, the most effective post types. This is the highest value part of this presentation. Make sure that when you're putting together some type of a content plan, you have something similar to these in your post. And these are pretty much non-negotiable, I would say. And we're going to skim through these. You guys can check out the links. I'm not going to go into this video. It's beyond the scope. Number 1 is an intro post. So basically say who you are, why you do what you are. Say who you are, what you do, and why it matters, and plant your flag in the ground. Be confident if you're on camera. Just tell your story and be genuine. Number 2 is a pitch in public post. By the way, the intro post, that should definitely be, if you're just starting out, that should be one of the first ones that you put out. Number 2 is a pitch in public post. So take someone else's brand or business and apply yours to it. My personal application of this was a web design review and web design redesigns. If you're in marketing, if you're accounting, dissect a popular strategy from another business owner, from another company, and just give your take on it. Or reaction videos. So if you see another thought leader in your industry and something that you said that resonated, make content about that. Number 3 is an announcement post. And you guys see these all the time. This is why there's a lot of controversy on social media, is that everyone seems like they're only posting their wins. And that can be true to an extent. But the reason that you're doing this is you're not doing it to be ostentatious. You're doing it to start a conversation around what you do and also spread awareness for what you do. So there's a way to do this that works. I did it just to announce the podcast. Like, we hit a small win in terms of download. That's another way to kind of humble brag, is say small win and then XYZ. People really resonate with those, and it brings people along your journey. Number 4 is a social proof post. So think client testimonials, screenshots. Nothing speaks louder than someone else speaking on behalf of you, and not just yourself all the time. Number 5, and these are one of my favorites right here, is a detailed client case study. So just provide a deep dive into how you solved a problem. So I do these through every website launch. I go super in depth. I end up recording a 30 to 40 minute video on the back end, everything we did from the marketing strategy, take them from A to Z, and post a preview of that on LinkedIn. You can try and post the full thing. I wouldn't go that in depth, but maybe post a 3 to 4 minute video where you're going everything. Have a long post where you list out all the softwares you use, the tools you develop, and also the results you've achieved for that client. So people can tell, like, wow, this person knows their shit when they come in and they see something like that. Number 6 is a personal business transformation post. This is especially powerful if you're a freelancer in B2B. So just share your growth story to inspire and connect others. And that is something I've done with this post. Be transparent, share the failures of your journey. And like I said, the more you do this, the better you get. If you're thinking like, wow, like I couldn't type that in, just do it, You'll get better at writing as you do this. And I'm not an expert writer either by any chance. There's a lot of tools you can leverage, but just go through something like this and you'll get better as you go. Post number 7 rather, is the number 1 rule post. So clarify your unique insights or your guiding principles and have a firm belief. So LinkedIn, unfortunately, doesn't favor nuance, or it favors nuance, but it doesn't favor multiple opinions. So plant your flag in the ground, and you can acknowledge the other side if you want, but if you have a strong opinion, LinkedIn really values those, and it'll push it up in the algorithm, and it'll probably start some more conversations, especially if you have a polarizing point of view. That may be true. So on to the last 2 is number 8 is the personal touch. So make content about other people. One of the biggest hacks on LinkedIn is if you tag other people in your post and you get them to comment on your post as well, it sends it out to their entire audience. So really try and create like a community around your post, like tag other people, tag your clients, if it's that kind of a relationship, tag people that are bought into the story, tag organizations, tag friends, tag people that you meet and network with. And that'll go a long way for you and just create that top of funnel awareness. Number 9, these are probably this is not always the most effective, but it is my favorite, and that's the local effect. So if you're an in-person business and you go to in-person networking events and some of your clients are local, go to an event and not just add those people to your connection base, but share content about them, like really bang the drum, tag them in all the posts, share you interacting with clients. That just makes you more human. And that's one of the things I do at all the networking events is that I tag all the people that I met with them in the post, share the post, gets in front of their audience, and it makes them remember you. And if people can remember you after an event, after you've done through the due diligence of that, the impression is going to be a lot stronger, and they're going to be more likely to work with you. So number 6, resetting expectations. This is what it's going to take. And by the way, anyone in marketing, anyone in branding, design, anyone that's trying to sell you anything, if they say it's easy or they say this takes off on its own, that should make your eyebrows go do the Grinch thing, like stand up a little bit. Because this is not free. You get out of things what you put into them. Sorry if that's brash or devoid of context, but you have to invest in marketing yourself in order to see results. And when people work with me, I always set expectations. I say, you're investing in something that's going to grow your business, and your investment is the legwork and the strategy and moving the chess pieces that make that happen. So align your expectations to what you put in. And this is what you need to put in to get results like this. And if you do it better than me, then you'll get better results. But this is how you start. So you get out of what you put into it. It requires consistent effort. Investing time in marketing services will amplify your efforts. So someone to kind of accelerate the learning curve. And I put in a little note to hire me because I implement all these things for you. But the first step is to build your first 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. Shout out to Matt Brown. This is pretty much exactly what he said in terms of building your ideal audience. So if you're a B2B freelancer, get the free month of LinkedIn Sales Navigator and create a list. You can export this list if you want to, but know exactly who you're talking to. So if you're a B2B freelancer, pick an industry to start with. You can create multiple lists of different industries, but make sure you have an audience that's engaged on the platform that could suit your ideal customer profile. And then just start sending outreaches. You can use software or a subscription platform to do so. There's a ton of them. But if you do it manually, it's better to do it at a cadence anyway. So 20 to 30 per day, but be very consistent on doing that. Engage actively in the comments and message your connections. Build a relationship with the warm leads. Don't focus on the follower growth. And use outreach scripts plus personalization. So I always recommend sending a empty connection request first. Get them in your network. After they accept, then you send a conversation starter. So time investment for me, I was doing 2 hours a day of this when I first started. I've tailored it back and I've gotten better at making content so I can make it faster. I also don't do videos every day now, which used to be a huge time lift. But the time investment, 60 to 120 minutes per day, half on content creation, half on engagement. And I would say that's pretty moderate. If you're really creating really good content and you're really good at it, it will take a lot. If you're really good at it, it will take less time. But if you're not so good at it, it will take more time. So manage your expectations there. Here's a basic tool stack for you to get started. We have Kella, so that'll help you record these videos, what I'm recording this on right now. There's Canva for making professional videos. You can make tweet screenshots. You can do all kinds of thumbnail stuff with Canva, highly recommend. You can use ChatGPT, so obviously that'll help with idea generation and correcting your copy, but be very careful on making it something that does all the work and all the writing for you, because people will be able to tell that right away, so don't do that. You can use Premiere Pro and CapCut for editing. That's what I use. And you can get a long way with a phone camera, a mic, and basic skills. So you are more capable of doing all of this than probably you think after going through all of this content right here. For engagement, use the free month of LinkedIn Sales Nav. Find and connect with that audience. Really leverage that. It helps if you use premium afterwards. You have a longer access point, sort of as you go through and do this. But the 1 month of Sales Nav can get you a long way. So I really recommend starting there. And then if it's something that has a high ROI for you and you're making this work and you're consistent with it, stick to that investment. And also your LinkedIn time commenting. So the algorithm really values if you're showing up on the platform and you're engaging with other people. So make sure you're doing it at least 15, 20 minutes every day. Try and get to ideally as many as possible, but you don't want to do the 2-word comments. You want to be actually starting conversations. And I have a lot of content. Maria Marshuka is someone that I follow that makes great content about how you can use comments to create content. So it's basically an infinite idea funnel, but you have to be commenting and starting conversations. And the last thing is the additional tools. So Taplio, TweetPic, and Pika are 3 things you can use if you want to start leveling up your content game. Taplio is a automated scheduling platform. It also allows you to view analytics, but you can use all of this manually. None of these are necessary. TweetPic is one that lets you turn, if you're already on X and you have good content there, it lets you turn tweets into carousels or screenshots, and it really eases the friction of doing that. Pika Style is a visual enhancer, and it creates zoomed out screenshots. There's also a software called Shots SO, where you can create really awesome mock-ups, whether they're screenshots or, especially if you're a designer, those look awesome, and you can make them super branded. Or if this all seems very dense and overly, like I don't want to do all that, we do offer this as a service. So if you get on a call with us every week, we take your ideas, your founder-led content, and we put together a content scheduler for you. This is something that can happen for you. And like I said, if you're your first year of freelance, this probably doesn't apply to you. But like I said, if you're that one person who is just trying to get out there and you want to get better at B2B making content that grows your audience, that is something that we help you with, and you can check out this link below. But like I said, if you are a freelancer and a B2B, this is the content strategy that helped me make 50K top line my first year, grew my audience, and led to great relationships and is able to fulfill my lifestyle. So that's everything that's gone into that for me this year. I hope this helped you guys.